To federal politics now, where all players this week have had their fair share of woes. The latest controversy is a dispute between the West Australian and federal governments over a decision by the state to lift iron ore royalties. Because of a complex tax deal the Commonwealth has struck with mining companies, that move could blow a $2 billion hole in the federal budget. 7:30's political editor Chris Ullman reports.
The government's return to surplus in 2 years is built on revenue rivers flowing from the mining boom. But someone's building a dam.
It's raining. Good day. I'm happy. You're happy. Wayne Swan's unhappy. Bad luck.
Yesterday's West Australian budget lifted the royalty rate that companies mining iron ore have to pay the state. And given the federal government's mining tax deal pledged to cover companies' increased royalties, that could punch a big hole in a small surplus.
Well, Wayne Swan has only got himself to blame for this $2 billion black hole in his budget. And of course, it further reduces what is already a paper-thin expected surplus in 2012-13.
Julia Gillard was buoyant as she stepped out early for Walk to School Day.
And everyone, how excited are you to have the Prime Minister here?
But the Prime Minister's less excited by the West Coast royalties hike, saying she'll cut payments to the state.
Well, we will be adjusting infrastructure expenditure for Western Australia to protect the federal budget. The budget is coming back to surplus exactly as promised.
Walk to School Day was celebrated across the nation.
Got a mandarin. The mandarins are pretty good though, aren't they?
It was a bipartisan affair, even down to fruit endorsement.
I want a mandarin, but it has some healthy fruit too. Good on you.
But that's about as much love as you're likely to get in federal politics these days.
The fact that the budget surplus is now really hostage to state government decisions about royalties shows that Gillard's mining tax was just as badly designed as Rudd's mining tax.
Tony Abbott suffered some damage of his own this week when Malcolm Turnbull restated his concerns about the cost and effectiveness of the Coalition's plan to cut carbon emissions.
A direct action policy where industry was able to freely pollute, if you like, and the government was just spending more and more taxpayers' money to offset it, that would become a very expensive charge on the budget.
It raised the obvious questions about whether he was having another tilt at the top job.
Every member of the House of Representatives has the Field Marshal's baton or the leader's baton in their knapsack.
This distraction when the government was on the ropes outraged some of his colleagues, who say there's no threat to Tony Abbott and no chance Malcolm Turnbull will lead the party again. Malcolm Turnbull used his blog today to declare the whole thing was a media beat-up, but he went on to say the Coalition's climate change policy could cost taxpayers $18 billion a year by 2050. It's all a blessed relief for a government that hasn't been able to take a trick for months.
In all of that, he was telling us that Tony Abbott's scare campaign against carbon pricing is a scare campaign, and Tony Abbott's plan won't work and will blow the budget.
The budget was the topic when Joe Hockey stepped up at the National Press Club on Wednesday.
When analysed carefully, it even fails the fiscal test the government has set for itself.
When it came to proffering an alternative, the Shadow Treasurer was light on detail, and this admission is likely to echo when Parliament returns next week.
Yes, we did spend a lot in the Coalition. We did. There's no doubt about that.
And as the Multi-Party Committee on Climate Change moves towards setting a carbon price, there was jousting among its members over where that price should be set. A report to government said it needed to be $40 a tonne to drive power generation from burning black coal to gas.
Whatever the starting price, from the government standpoint, it's going to be well south of $40 a tonne.
And the question which must hang on everybody's lips is, well, what's wrong with the report? And if the report's not wrong, then why well south of that?
But Senator Brown won't answer the question he once posed to others.
Where do you think the price should be, well below or well above?
Well, as I said, Mr Combe should explain why he says it should be well below 40.
And in a sideline to the main game, Bob Brown has declared war on News Limited's papers.
I'm just wondering why the hate media It's got a negative front page from top to bottom today. Can't be more responsible and constructive. Let me finish. I'm just asking you why you can't be more constructive.
By week's end, other outlets had joined the fray, but the Senator had some wise advice.
But you virtually do. You come out here every day and you do take it on the media, media that you don't like.
Don't get too upset. This is just part of the democratic discourse.
Chris Ullman reporting from Canberra.